When you grow up as a rich, entitled, out-of-touch son of a prime minister, you end up becoming an inherently corrupt, entitled, out-of-touch prime minister. You call your opponents racist, you fail to see your own hypocrisy, and you fail to manage your country's finances. This is Justin Trudeau and his Canada. Under his leadership, Canada has become an international joke. Our country has accepted his alienation of the West, his blatant hypocrisy and virtue signaling on feminism and racism, his destructive climate policies, and his endless corruption and ethics scandals. Furthermore, Canadians have accepted a Liberal government that has aided and abetted the Communist Chinese regime in its efforts to dominate the world and to undermine Western powers. Welcome to Justin Trudeau's Clown Country. Imagine a cold, northern country where 8 months out of the year is winter and where hundreds of millions of barrels of oil under the ground could be used to heat millions of homes, but where citizens instead elect governments that would rather keep that oil in the ground and import more oil from Islamofascist terrorist countries instead, all while virtue signaling to the world about how they love equality and human rights, all while gas and heating prices rise to almost unaffordable levels, in a country where 8 months out of the year the temperature is below zero. Imagine a country that finds out about a plague from China and then refuses to shut down the airports and puts more effort into trying to curb racism against Asians than trying to stop the actual virus. Yes, that was Canada in the early days of the coronavirus pandemic. Theresa Tam and Justin Trudeau were more concerned that Canadians would be mean to Chinese citizens than they were about actually stopping the virus in early 2020, before it went on to kill more than 25,000 Canadians and devastate the economy. Even as new variants were coming in daily from India in 2021, Trudeau kept the flights coming for more than 4 straight weeks before finally grounding them. Imagine a country that prides itself on environmentalism and stewardship, tries to shut down dirty oil, ban plastic straws, and make its citizens pay exorbitant amounts of taxes for fossil fuels, all while turning a blind eye to Quebec as they dump millions of liters of raw sewage into the St. Lawrence River every year, and while non-recyclable COVID masks and Tim Hortons cups pile up at landfills, in rivers, and on public streets. Imagine a country that tells its war veterans that it doesn't have enough money to support their needs, while sending millions to Ethiopia to develop their energy industry, and millions more to other poor, hard-done-by countries. Yes, annually Canada sends more than $6 billion to other countries around the world, while Justin Trudeau tells disabled war vets that we just don't have enough to go around.
First of all, why are we still fighting against certain veterans groups in court? Because they are asking for more than we are able to give right now.
Imagine a country where a prime minister hires his own friends to fulfill government contracts and pushes his own justice minister to not investigate a giant multinational corporation on allegations of corruption, all while Canadians just shrug and re-elect him. Imagine a country where the National Health Minister tells everyone to wear a mask to protect against the China virus, but then gets caught at the Toronto airport without one. Or imagine a health minister who thinks that scientific studies that prove vitamin D as a highly effective immune booster are just fake news. Yes, that really happened, and her name is Patty Hajdu. Patty Hajdu. Imagine a country where the Prime Minister calls himself a feminist but then votes to shut down an investigation into sexual misconduct in the military, years after being accused of groping a female reporter. Or, better yet, imagine a country where a Prime Minister who dressed up in blackface on several occasions during his time as a privileged teenager and drama teacher has the audacity to call the rest of us racist. Because, dressing up in blackface literally more than 3 times in your life is normal for most Canadians. Imagine a rich, prosperous country where the average income is more than $50,000 a year, and where freedom is abundant, where you can walk safely on the street without worrying about a missile landing on your head, and where most people have shelter, food, and a warm place to sleep. That is Canada for the most part, but it's becoming increasingly less so for more and more Canadians with every passing year. Take, for instance, the Nescatenga First Nation, which hasn't had clean drinking water for more than 30 years, in a country that prides itself on prosperity, peace, and freedom. In a country where leaders and citizens alike pretend to care for a few minutes before shrugging and going on their merry way. Issues like First Nations drinking water and electricity are ignored in favor of making the rest of the world think Canada's a perfect country, when it in fact is not. Even when an alleged mass grave of First Nation children was revealed in Kamloops, the Prime Minister declared a new national holiday in September so a bunch of white people could have another day off, while the rest of Canada could only go so far as putting shoes on the steps of legislatures and lighting a bunch of fucking candles. Getting to the bottom of who in government knew about it, and when they knew about it, or pushing the Catholic Church to reveal what it knew, was all just too much effort for Canadians. Imagine a country that even entertains the idea of letting communist Chinese military forces train on Canadian soil, or be trained by Canadian pilots. That's about enough of that. We think you get the idea. Under Justin Trudeau, Canada's gone to the dogs, or should we say the clowns. The lunatics are definitely running the asylum. We just can't figure out if Justin Trudeau is the cause of this, or if he's just a symptom of a much deeper Canadian cultural problem. Either way, the things we've seen since he took office are concerning. Everything from shrugging off corruption to letting our country become an international laughingstock. Things have definitely gotten worse under this Prime Minister. We are letting things slide, choosing to be blind, and letting Canada's political class create an unbearable and insufferable world for our children. We can't keep letting this happen. It's time for all of us to think about how much further we really want any of this to keep going. If you like this video, subscribe. Unfortunately, the beta males in Silicon Valley will probably suppress this video, so make sure to check back regularly and to hit the little bell icon. Also, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Rumble.